Welcome to episode 1, where we hope you get to know us just a little better. Hi, welcome to the continuing adventures of Two Gray Mice. I'm Meg.
And I'm Rob.
And we are Two Gray Mice. Hi, and thank you for joining us today. This is our very first episode, Mr. Ward, and we're going to just try to talk to you guys about who we are, what we want to chat about in this podcast, and why the heck you'd actually want to listen to us.
Why do you have to refer to me as Mr. Ward? Can't you just say Rob?
Hello, Rob.
Hi, Meg.
So, obviously, we are Rob and Meg. We have been married and together for over 30 years, Slink's Scoop. And in that time, we have fallen madly in love with Disney and Universal and basically traveling together. Once again, we are learning how to travel sans kids, which has been new and exciting for us.
Very exciting.
So, Rob, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? He hates when I do that.
Okay. So, way back when we decided to get married, where do you want to take your honeymoon? And I was like, well, I'd really like to honeymoon at Walt Disney World. And I expected to be shot down from the sky, but no, lo and behold, my betrothed said, that sounds like a great idea. And that's where we had our honeymoon. And I've always been a fan of Disney. I grew up with The Wonderful World of Disney, for those of you that remember that program on TV. Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Goofy, Daffy, Pluto, they were everywhere. And I think the first time I was ever down in Walt Disney World was when I was 15. And it's a magical place. It's super fun. Every time we go back there, we find something different. We find something new. It's just cool. But in terms of traveling without kids, that's even cooler.
Yeah, obviously we fell in love with Disney on our honeymoon, so we didn't have children at the time. But I had never been down to Walt Disney World. That was my first trip, and I fell immediately in love with it. And realized that I was using a book at the time, I think Birnbaum's book at the time, to figure out what to do and how to do it. And it was the same book I used the second time we went down, which was with the kids. But when we went down many moons later for your big birthday, when you once again said, I want to go to Walt Disney World, when it was just the two of us, that we didn't know how to do it as a couple.
Yeah, we had, it seemed as we were like getting into the planning stages for going down there. We had no idea what we were going to do, or how we were going to occupy our time. So it sort of forced us to take a slightly deeper dive and ask ourselves, different questions than we asked, when we were a family group with kids. It was really phenomenal 60th birthday. One that I won't soon forget.
No, it was a great time. We had stayed in French Quarter. We had a beautiful king room overlooking the river right there. But little things like it didn't occur to us to go to Trader Sam's. We didn't do a monorail crawl, even though we do drink. It just like little things that are out there for adults we didn't know about and we didn't think about yet because we hadn't really done a deep enough dive to figure some of that stuff out. But that trip kind of sealed the deal for us, and we came back from that trip begging to go back down again. We were immediately planning our next trip.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
That is.
So why do we think you should listen to this podcast about Disney and all those fun things instead of somebody else's? What qualifies us?
I don't know. We're geeks. We're nerds.
We're geeks. We're nerds. It's a little bit of everything. I'm a travel advisor who specializes in Disney, so I have learned even more over the past several years while doing that. And Rob has worked in theater and has actually built things for Disney and Universal over the years and constructed them, so he understands what it takes to put a theme park to some extent up or something along those lines.
Yeah, I know what it takes to get an attraction from, like, Paper Sketch to people going ooh and ah. But I mean, at my heart, I love being wowed. I love going to a show and knowing that there's going to be some kind of special little something. But then when that something occurs, just being, whoa, how did they do that? I find, I really find that, the big theme parks, the ones that are operated by Disney, the ones that are operated by Universal, I'm going to go there and I'm going to be wowed. I'm going to be wowed.
Yeah, there's a lot of wow factors in both of them. So we've traveled there several times over the past couple of years and this year, and we're going to talk to you about our trips and what we think and the news as it comes along. But we're also going to talk to you about the other trips that we'll take as a couple and as a family still, of course, that we still have the kids. They're just grown-ass adults.
Yeah, because I really want to talk about that Virgin cruise.
Oh, of course.
That cruise was fun. And I'm not a cruise guy.
No, it took me 27 years to get you back on a cruise. I got him on a cruise when my daughter was, was 2 and got him back on a cruise 27 years later.
Hang on a second. We're going to be in the middle of the water and we're not going to be able to see land. No, I'm totally not interested in that. Absolutely not.
No, I can get him to go to Disney in a heartbeat. Put him on a boat in the middle of the ocean. He's like, nope, but he's willing to go back on Virgin. Now you'd go back on another Virgin cruise.
I would take another Virgin cruise in a heartbeat. As a matter of fact, there were 2 different East Coast itineraries we looked at.
Yep.
That we would do. But there was a cruise that we were planning on taking in September out of New York City, Virgin cruise, which looked very, very interesting. It could still happen, but we have a family get together in Tennessee that is sort of taking its place for right now. But yeah, I'd go on another Virgin cruise in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that was fun.
I just think a combination between great shows, impeccable service, as we say a lot when we're talking about theme parks, what the visitor experience is about. Virgin is another one of those companies where there's never a problem. There's only an opportunity. They're going to do everything that they possibly can to make sure that you have a memorable experience and that you think you definitely got your money's worth. And that, in today's dollars, that's big with me. I want to go someplace where I'm going to get entertained, where I'm going to experience top shelf food and drinks, and where I'm not going to feel rushed, where I'm going to be able to, let the place come to me, so to speak.
Yeah, completely. Yep. So that's kind of like where we are and who we are. We're not going to read the news right off a Disney site or a Universal site. I'm not going to read you the
boring.
I'm not going to read you the foodie guides and where we enjoy eating. I'm not sure. Well, I definitely wouldn't call myself a foodie.
I'm a foodie.
Bob's a foodie. Yeah.
I see food and I eat it.
But I am probably a better example of the world's finickiest kid where food is concerned. I do eat more than chicken tenders now, but not always.
But something just occurred to me, and I think this is important. So one of my most favorite times to go to Epcot is during the Flower and Garden Show.
Uh-huh.
It is also one of my favorite times to go down there and eat and drink.
Yes. Because
I love the way they have taken, what was sort of like a horticulturally kind of themed period of time and actually spread it out amongst the drink offerings and the food offerings.
Right.
I love that about that particular festival.
Yes. And
So much fun.
we've enjoyed several of their booths of the food there, but very often you'll get something and I'll try it and then you'll finish eating it.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I have no fear where food
Right.
is concerned.
Where food is
If we're
concerned.
talking about roller coasters,
that's a different story.
That's a totally different story.
Yeah. So that's just kind of who we are and where we're coming from. And even though it's a theme park heavy podcast, I would say it's not, we're going to try to be good where our language is concerned, but, maybe not always the podcast for the kids, because we're going to be honest about having kids there and growing up with kids and having adult kids, and we're adults. So
here's what I will say about having kids at a park like Walt Disney World or Universal. You really have to be prepared. You have to be even more prepared than I think you and I sometimes get when we're getting set to go down there. And by prepared, I mean you just really need to ask a lot of questions about what are you looking for? And I guess one of the reasons why you might want to keep listening to this podcast is my significant other is very adept at asking those questions. What is it you're looking for? What do you want? What are you trying to get out of this experience / vacation? Because I often say, we're not going down to Disney on vacation. I mean, you go down to Disney and you're working. You're working every day you're there.
Well, no, that's what the day off is for. Always take a day off while you're in Disney, which people always laugh. So I'm taking a day off during my vacation. Yes, you are.
Yeah, but I think you just have a way of getting down to the root of what's really important to that particular client when they're getting ready to head off. Because, don't forget, disposable income these days isn't what it used to be. We all seem to have less and less of it. If you're going to plump down some serious change and folks, yes, going to Universal, going to Disney is expensive, but depends what you want out of it and what you're willing to do while you're there. But, for us, it's the perfect 3 to 5 day getaway. Every time we've gone down there for that, we have not been disappointed. We have had a glorious time. And we feel like we get what we want, that we get looked after, that we enjoy ourselves.
That's all true.
Without the kids.
Though we have, though I did just have a mother-daughter trip last year, which was fabulous, but that's besides the point. So that's who we are, and hopefully that's what we're going to talk to you guys about as we go forward in this lovely podcast, and maybe a little less rambling, but probably not too much, I'll be honest with you. But so next week, we hope to talk to you about our trip to Epic Universe during previews, which was amazing.
Oh my God.
And then we have Rob's first trip to Disneyland, and we'll probably talk to you about our trip down to Tennessee, because what the heck, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So thank you very much for listening to the continuing adventures of Two Gray Mice. I'm Meg.
And I'm still Rob.
Have a magical week. Thank you for spending time with us today. Please like and subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. For all your travel needs, please reach out to Meg at megandthemouse.com. Have a magical week.